What up, lions and lionesses? Pudding reporting in with another video. As some of you know, I've been teasing this video for a while now. Since it's been more than 3 months since Sonic Prime Season 3 dropped, many of you have probably seen it. I feel like I can talk about the show as a whole now. Yet, if you haven't seen anything in the show, regardless of what point you are at, if you hadn't made it to the end, you might want to click off this video, since this video contains heavy spoilers for Sonic Prime as a whole. For those of you who stayed, let's get going. The speed paint will be playing throughout the video, and if the speed paint doesn't last long enough for the entire video, I'll have the picture be there on the screen while I continue talking. Now, before I make my point, please do not start wars in the comments section. This is my opinion, and everyone's opinion is different. If you disagree, please do point your points in the comment sections. Maybe I missed something, but please do it civilized. If you call anyone or me ignorant, stupid, or something that is borderline an insult that could hurt someone's feelings and lower their self-esteem, or if you try to make yourself be smarter than everyone else, your comment will be deleted. I want the comment section of this video to be open lives for civilized discussion. Now, finally, what is this video about? This video is about who's in the wrong at the end of Sonic Prime Season 2. Sonic or 9? For those of you confused, 9 is a variant of Tails from an alternate universe, and he is one of the most important characters and a fan favorite in Sonic Prime. I myself have strong feelings about this guy, and those feelings vary. Same with Sonic. After a rewatch of the series and taking notes on each of their interactions by themselves, with each other, or the other characters in the show, I have come to the conclusion of who's in the wrong. Now, let's get on to the question at hand. Who's in the wrong? Sonic or 9? Throughout the first episode, we get a strong look into Sonic's character and how he interacts with the characters in his environment. If we examine each of his actions, we eventually find that most of his actions are based off his confidence. He believes everything will be alright, whatever he does. Despite receiving multiple warnings from his friends before going for the prism, he goes thinking that he will stop Eggman and nothing bad will happen. Everything will be sunshine and rainbows. This lines up where this show takes place in the timeline. This show takes place in between the events of games like Sonic Advance 3 and the 2000s and 2010 games. During this time in the series, Sonic is continuously cocky and somewhat immature, so it makes sense why he'd be like this. Throughout the episode, it is also quite visible that Sonic has a deep care, love, and desire for his friends. At the start of episode 1, Sonic goes out of his way to help Big stand up, and he also says hello to each of his friends. Sonic loves his friends during his time in New York, and he is obviously nervous around each encounter, somewhat scared of this new environment. He can be seen being confused and somewhat timid. However, this all melts away when he sees what looks like his friend. When he sees what he looks like his friends. He lights up when he sees 9, Rusty, Rose, and New York Big. All that fear that is visible melts away. The love he has for his friends aren't just, "Oh, my friend, I love you so much, la 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 la, friendship." No, it's a "I will die if you die" type of love. Sonic can't bear to have anyone he cares for deeply hurt or dead. It would mess him up terribly. This can be seen throughout the Sonic series as a whole. During the games like Sonic Lost World, Forces, IDW, and more, despite a game's quality, Sonic is always very protective of his friends, no matter what. Now, with 9. 9 is the opposite. 9 feels that the world is against him and he can't trust anybody. When 9 meets Sonic, he says these 3 lines. "Who sent you? What do you want?" And "I was trained by the misery of life in this foul and heartless city." These 3 lines speak volumes to me. When 9 says, "Who sent you?" and "What do you want?" it makes him seem as if, due to his trauma, 9 thinks everyone is out to get him, causing him to become terrified and paranoid about the outside world. When he says, "I was trained by the misery of life in this foul and heartless city," 9 is saying that all he's endured taught him that the world will not be fair to him and will always be after him. He feels as if he's constantly got to fight back in order to stay alive, in order to feel safe. From a young age, 9 has had the world against him. When a child is bullied, neglected, and treated with nothing but cruelty, in their adult life, they'll barricade themselves from the world and relationships with others. 9 is doing just that. He's hiding away from the world in fear of being harmed. This can all be backed up by when 9 says, "Why do you think I live down here?" To avoid everyone. 9 hides from the world to feel a sense of security and not anxiety all the time. Now, getting into the interactions between the two. Their first meeting shows their strained relationship. Their personalities clash. Sonic with his desperate desire for comfort from whom he thinks is Tails, and Nine, who wants nothing to do with the outside world. When Sonic turns Nine's chair around, Nine responds with a gasp and a growl, from fear to anger, from shock to defense mode. Nine believes Sonic is out to get him. Now, I know some of you could say, since the environment of New York is so bad, he could think Sonic was sent by the Chaos Council. While this could possibly be true, it just doesn't hold water. Remember, when Rebel Rouge and Renegade Nux saw Nine for the first time, they were confused. Not one, not even the Chaos Council, seemed to know who he was. Yes, he might have had a citizen number, as we see that the Chaos Council has numbers for their citizens, with Biggs being 1998. But clearly, Nine doesn't interact with the outside world based on his worldview. I doubt that the Chaos Council would care about Nine's existence at this point in the show. So, Nine reacts to Sonic with fear and instinct to defend himself. Sonic desperately tries to reach out to Nine, but Nine refuses. Eventually, Sonic ends up saving Nine's, which Nine responds with shock. Nine has never had anyone show him kindness up until this point. To show this, Nine says the line, "You saved me?" This shows that Nine was shocked by this act of kindness. This also shows Sonic's desire for everyone to be safe. Even if Nine had tried to kill him, Sonic still saved his life. The two then proceed to have a nice bonding moment where Nine reveals his past and we get to see their dynamic, which seems to be a bit of the crazy friend and the one brain cell. But the one with the brain cell being Nine, and the crazy friend being Sonic. Throughout the rest of the episode, Nine seems to show that he's beginning to care for Sonic, calling out to him when he seemingly seems in distress, and Sonic also having a forming bond with the young foxes. Sonic too calls out to him when Nine is zapped by the Chaos Council. This first interaction gives us what seems to set up their dynamic for the rest of the show. The next episode shows more of the character for the rest of the cast, and we're focusing on Nine and Sonic. Not Sonic, but the rest of the cast, so we'll skip over them. Unless you guys want to see me do a Sonic Prime analysis video with Sonic dynamic with the other characters. But for this video, we'll skip that for now. At the start of the episode, Sonic and Shadow have a small fight. During this fight, Sonic has his normal action motivations, a bit of carelessness met with recklessness. Throughout the episode, we see Sonic constantly showing that his actions can be a result of carelessness and overconfidence, not thinking before he acts. Although this does show his resilience. Through his fight with Shadow, Shadow notices that Sonic doesn't listen often, and that's one of his downfalls, calling him out by saying, You need to stop, Sonic, and listen for once, and learn to focus." During the scene where Sonic is almost killed and pulls the Mike Wazowski blowing out the light torch thing, Nine can be seen looking shocked, and he may be even terrified. Once Sonic is freed by Nine, he once again lights up with hope when he sees Rebel Rouge and Renegade Nux, showing that Sonic still has a deep love for his friends. He even shows distress when Rusty Rose attacks the duo. During this, Nine can be seen attempting to hack into the Chaos Council's computers, not having much luck. Yet he doesn't give up, showing his resilience. Sonic also shows resilience during this part of the episode too, by fighting despite not being in a good health state with the world still spinning in his eyes. For their character dynamic, their stubbornness is one huge thing they have in common. Remember that they're both stubborn. This might just come back to playing later. In episode 3, we see more of Nine's character come to shine. Throughout the episode, Nine shows excellent leadership skills by making sure the crew gets to the picture. As Sonic interacts with Nine, he calls him Tails, and Nine responds with seemingly sensitivity. Possibly because of his Tails, but surely Nine not liking being compared to Tails won't come back into play, wink wink, wink wink. Sonic also shows a bit of leadership skills when he tells the team to go down the stairs to get out. During a fight scene with Dr. Teep, there is a moment where Sonic is in a tough spot, and Nine comes to his aid. Sonic then returns the favor when Nine is also in a tough spot. He then gives the Fox the high five, and Nine shows somewhat shock, but also lightens up. Whoa, never seen him do that before. He's been cold and dismissive this whole time to Sonic's actions. And now he's responding positively to affection? Where has this happened before? During the first episode. Nine shows the same shock at Sonic's kindness towards him. When Sonic saved his life at the train, and then began to bond with him, Nine shows happiness because he is once again getting what he yearns for, connection.
just like when Sonic saved his life at the train where he began to bond with him. Although Sonic is more open to it than 9. This is where 9 begins to get hope. Maybe Sonic is a friend towards him. Now speeding up a bit, right at the end of the episode where the group finally reaches the core for the Chaos Council, HQ, Sonic and 9 get in while the others are captured. Sonic shows great distress to this and attempts to get to the other side of the door to help them. 9, on the other hand, doesn't care about the others' well-being. He just wants to get onto the task at hand. This is where the personalities of the characters clash. 9 is a go-get-it-or-die type of person, while Sonic is a everyone must make it out alive. Sonic wants everyone safe, while 9 just wants to get this done. This also shows that 9 is very independent. Surely this personality clash won't come back into play, wink wink. During the scene, Sonic begins to figure himself out, what he's done, and now he needs to fix it. 9 once again commands that Sonic do what he says due to the severity of the situation, telling him to snap back to reality, just like Shadow did at the start of episode 2. When Sonic touches the prism, the shard, and he gets sucked in. The two characters call out to each other with distress in their voices. As the episode comes to an end, 9 shows shock, concern, and distress when Sonic is gone. While 9 may get frustrated with Sonic, he still cares for him. After all, this is the only person who's shown kindness towards him. People tend to draw close to those who show kindness to them. Tails in the normal universe gravitated towards Sonic because he showed him kindness. Same goes with 9. In my personal experience, I will draw closer to you and feel more comfortable around you if you show me kindness. It's how humans work. This show is very good at portraying human-like characters who make mistakes and have feelings. Now, for the next few episodes until the episode Situation Grim, we don't see many interactions between Sonic and 9. However, we do see a lot of Sonic. What I found while watching the 2 episodes is that Sonic has a deep care for his friends and refuses to fight any of them, hence him refusing to fight Thorn Rose. Yet he is also sensitive to injustice, wanting everyone he meets and everyone in general to be at peace with one another. Hence him wanting Thorn Rose and the Scavengers being prim, gnarly, mangy, and hangry to talk to each other and make peace with each other instead of fighting. A lot of Sonic's actions and decisions also come back to the fact, as stated earlier, Sonic can be quite careless and doesn't exactly think in depth before he acts. Now, we get to the episode that foreshadowed the ending of Season 2 and the entirety of Season 3. Situation Grim. At the start of the episode, we see what's been going on with the residents of New York. Judging by the situation, Sonic has made a huge impact on the people due to them beginning to fight back, showing that Sonic makes a big difference on the people he meets. As we've seen in prior episodes of 9, after explaining a bit to Knuckles, Sonic asks about 9, showing that he wants to know if the fox is alright, and wants to tell him about what he's encountered. When Sonic mentions 9 to Rebel Rouge at the Resistance base, we get to see what 9 did once having a grasp on the New York Shard. According to Rebel Rouge and Renegade Nux, 9 left with the Shard, and the fox made eye contact with the crew, but 9 did nothing to help them. This could be a case of fear or selfishness. There really isn't much to say here, although it's leaning more towards selfishness with what's going to happen next. When 9 finally shows up in present time, 9 calls out to Sonic telling him to hang on. 9 helps Sonic get out of trouble, and once he has the blue Hedgehog in his newly made vehicle, the two dip out. 9 leaves the rest of the cast to die. This shows that 9 only cares about Sonic, as this is the one that has continuously have been shown to be trustworthy. 9 shows his displeasure of Sonic leaving, yet he doesn't seem to be troubled by it after Sonic explains himself. The 9 shows that he has been gaining a deep interest in the Paradox Prism. Surely this won't be important later in the show. He then takes Sonic to a shadow space called the Grim, where no one lives or exists, and is completely vast and empty. Here we have a conversation that seems to foreshadow a conversation about the same topic later in the series, which will come into play later. 9 explains that he wants to make a new world, a perfect one that he never had, and the one that Sonic lost. A home for them both, no one else, just them. This shows that 9 only cares about Sonic and Sonic alone, since this is the only person that has shown him genuine affection and belonging. Sonic responds to this with discomfort, yet he seems to diverse 9's feelings and tell 9 that they need to go help in New York. Nine responds to this with aggression, saying that city never brought me anything but misery. This back and forth between the two shows that they have in common as well as they don't. They have a lot in common as well as they don't. Remember how I said earlier to remember that they are both stubborn? Well, they're both being stubborn here. Sonic wants to help his friends once again, showing his love for them, and stubborn about not wanting to go with Nine's idea. Nine is being stubborn by not wanting to help the city that brought him trauma and wants to start over. Here's their biggest difference. Sonic sees every side to people. Nine only sees one. Nine has shut himself out from the real world, so much to the point where he believes that all the people in that city or in the world is out to get him and will bring him nothing but betrayal. Sonic, on the other hand, despite not having a strong relationship with the people of New York, cares about them. Sonic, through all his life, has been getting to know people, and they, in return, have been good to him. Nine barricaded his heart so that no one can hurt him.
The next few episodes don't really have much to do with Nine and Sonic. Season 2, however, has a lot to do with those two. Although this video is long enough and I can't exactly edit it all, yet I don't want to split this up into several videos. So we'll skip over that, and now we can finally get to the famous scene. The scene where we really find out who's in the wrong. The scene starts off with Sonic finishing a battle. He then runs up and meets Nine, who is excited to see Sonic finish the battle. The two then enter a cave where the prism is. The two have an argument, and Nine leaves with a shard in a climactic moment, and suddenly the audience is divided. At the start of the fight, Nine says he only went to Green Hill to see where the prism shards went, so he could build a new world in the Grim. Sonic shows discomfort to this, and when he says that he wants to rebuild Green Hill because it was home, Nine responds with aggression. Now, this is a valid response from Nine. Sonic hasn't talked to him about this much at all. It's been Green Hill this and Green Hill that. Yet, as the argument continues, Nine becomes more and more aggressive. Sonic calls Nine little buddy, which Nine doesn't like. Remember how earlier in the video I said that Nine doesn't like being compared to Tails? Well, this is the outcome of that. Whenever Sonic compares Nine to Tails, Nine feels as if he isn't good enough as Tails and responds with aggression, as he is being trained to do so by the world. As the argument continues, Nine says this: "Did you ever consider what I wanted?" While Nine does have a valid reason to say this, this is a form of guilt tripping. Guilt tripping is where an abuser says something or does something to cause feelings of guilt onto the victim. What Nine is doing here is making Sonic feel guilty about how he hasn't been listening to Nine fully. Sonic is, of course, in the wrong about this, yet Nine is too for responding to the situation with aggression. We can even see Nine standing on his tail to make himself seem bigger, as he continues to guilt-trip Sonic. Like how two people would feel if this were to happen in real life. One would feel bigger, and the other one would feel smaller. Then Nine says this: "What do you think would happen to me when you brought your friends back?" Now, many people would point to this line and go, if Sonic were to put the prison back together, Nine would die. No, he would not. This theory is debunked at the end of Sonic Prime Season 3. My reasoning? Well, at the end of Sonic Prime Season 3, the prison was restored. It has its full power back. And if we look at all the variants as the Shadow Vases begin to restore, are they dead? No. What I think this means is the Paradox Prism is the door to the Shadowverse, and Green Hill is the heart of the Shadowverse. Well, I'm not going to go into that theory right now. I might in a future video. So let's answer that question. Who's in the wrong? Well, it's both of them. Yet, Nine is more in the wrong than Sonic for him handling the situation terribly. The adrenaline that Nine felt in the moment could be the reason why he acted the way he did. But in the Grim, Nine did the same thing. Instead of talking when nothing was at stake, he responded with aggression. Sonic, of course, is in the wrong because he didn't talk about Nine what was going on. Yet Sonic handled the situation much better, not yelling or using any form of manipulation.
Now, does this mean I hate Nine? Absolutely not. I adore him as a protagonist turned antagonist. He is such a complex character, and Tails, no matter the version, has always been my favorite Sonic character. I mean, Tails is really cool. Who else can fly with their buttocks? Does this mean I don't think Nine went crazy in Season 3? Absolutely not. I mean, look at this image. My man looks clinically insane. But in general, I really enjoyed watching Sonic and Nine relationship go. So please, lions and lionesses, when going to the comment section, please talk about this civilized. As I stated at the beginning, I want this comment section to be a safe place for civilized discussion. And when I was talking about guilt tripping, I'm no psychologist, so don't quote me on that. Anyway, remember to talk civilized, and please like, comment, and subscribe. It's completely free and boosts my confidence. Later, lions and lionesses, keep roaring to success.